Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. We are live on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon, our usual. We thank you so much for joining us here today. We've got lots of Cleveland Browns news, rumors, previewing to get into for your Cleveland Browns folks. And I am your host, as always, Joey O'Donohue. We thank you all so much for being in here. I see the chat booming already. I see people say, Edits B. Troy already says, I want to see Shedeur start. We're going to talk about that. We've got an update on Sanders for you all today. But first, get active in that chat and tell me who you got winning in Week 8. Type CLE if you got the Cleveland Browns. Type NE if you got the Patriots. This will be a tough one for the Browns going into Foxborough, but I think they can get it done. What do you think? Type CLE in that chat if you got the Browns. Type NE if you got New England. I already see Edits B. Troy picking the Browns, says Go Browns. Spiral Black says CLE. Let's give some shout-outs here. Daniel says not with Gabriel. Interesting. Blue Man Boy says CLE. He's got Cleveland. I like it. Troy's got Cleveland by 3. ACDC's got Cleveland. Ricky's got Cleveland. The legendary band. Cody's got Cleveland. James Harper in the chat. Good to see James. He's got Cleveland. Ian's got Cleveland. Cody says, woof, woof. I'll take that as a Cleveland. I like it. James says, what's up? What's going on, James Harper? Daniel says, Garrett Wilson trade? Question mark. A lot of people talking about that as well. I might have to do a full video on it. There's some rumors. Lon Manny says, diehard Browns fans, but realistic, we lose. Fair. Honest take. Honest. But I like all the Clevelands coming in. Peter's got Cleveland. David's got Cleveland. Evan's got Cleveland. I love it. I love it, folks. I really hope the Browns can pull this one off. It would be a massive win. Lots of talk around Cleveland would change if that were the case. Like I said, folks, coming up on the show, we've got plenty to get to here. Shedeur Sanders, an update was given on him today from Kevin Stefanski. You're not going to want to miss where he's at in his development. When will we actually see number 12 take the field? That'll be the first thing we talk about on today's show. Then some Cleveland Browns trade news and rumors from ESPN, from The Athletic, all the inside sources. We give you what they're saying for free here on the show. And then finally, don't forget to super chat and use the hashtag Browns with some questions or takes because we're going to do a Q&A, answer everything that the Browns fans want to know. Also got producer Reed here with us behind the sticks. Reed, how's it going, man?
What's up, everybody?
I'm
doing great. How are you, Joey?
I'm great, man. I'm great now, especially now that you're on here with me. It's great. This will be a lot of fun, guys. Like I said, loads of Browns topics to get into, so you're in the right place if you're here. We got 170 people watching in the building on a Wednesday. That's awesome. Like I said, if you want your voice heard on the show, your take, your question answered, super chat or use the hashtag Browns in that comment section. We'll try to get to you. Super chat and they'll automatically put you in our video if you'd like. Troy says he's been a Browns fan since he was born, never given up. We're the most diehard fan base in the league, folks. Cleveland Browns fans. We really are. Best fans in the NFL. I believe that. Daniel saying we should be 4-3 already. We can make it to 10-7. I like that take. We should have beat the Bengals. We should have beat the Vikings. I mean, realistically, we should have at least 4 wins, but the rest of the schedule gets easier. Don't give up yet. Xfinity's birthday tomorrow.
Happy early birthday.
How old are you turning, Xfinity? Let us know. No, CJ says the Bengals would beat the Browns. Browns are going to beat the Bengals next time around. You watch. Braden with the $2 super chat. We'll get you up on the screen. We shout out everybody that sends in a super chat on the show. Braden, thank you so much for that $2. Reed's hyped about this one. Says, Reed is back, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Reed. Good to have you back, man. Woo. Hell yeah.
Thanks, Braden. Appreciate it. Good to see you too, man.
W. Braden, thank you so much for that $2 super chat. It's always good. Reed, always good to have Reed in the studio with us every Wednesday. And who knows, maybe a Sunday or two. Hopefully.
I want to be I want to produce a show with Shedeur.
Oh, that'd be electric, man. This is our first one ever together. Preseason week 1 Panthers game. Who was watching that? Me and Reed. It was kind of electric. I mean, Shedeur was balling out, and we had thousands of people watching. Like, it was popping. People want to see 12. But when will we actually see him this season? Got more insight for you on today's show. Per Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski gave us an update. Also got some sources speculating when he will come in. So I'm going to give you guys all the news as I usually do. Tis the job. Intel plays. Judkins is going to be the QB. Wildcat the whole game. I mean, I found that was very interesting. They literally put Gabriel to the bench and brought out Judkins Wildcat for 2 of the touchdowns. I like it. It worked. Everybody knew Judkins was going to run it, too. Like, it just didn't matter. Jordan with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, Jordan Vassar. We'll get you on the screen as well. Like I said, shout out everybody sending in the super chats. You guys are awesome. And if you have a question or take that you want on the show, put it in the super chat, and we'll get it out on our video that we're going to do later today. Adam saying, all the Browns need is a real quarterback. That's all we've ever needed, Adam. It's been the story of Cleveland. Got everything around the quarterback, but never the most important part. Wow, another Reed name. Jordan, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. We beat Pats. They played nobody. You know what? They really haven't, except for the Bills. But they lost. Didn't they lose to the Raiders? Like, come on. Raiders are the worst team in the league, arguably, right now. We could beat them.
I don't know.
Dude, the Raiders are bad. Like, it's bad over there.
The Jets still exist.
The Jets suck really bad.
They're 0-7.
Which, by the way, Cleveland still plays the Jets.
Yeah.
And the Raiders this season. Yeah. And the Titans. 3 wins. Should be 3 wins for Cleveland, at least more coming up.
I saw MR Melt said, wow, another rename too. That's my name. Weird hearing it. Not too many people have that name. Correct. Not many people have that name. And anytime I hear it, I'm like, hey. So, great name.
Great name. I forgot. That's your first name. I just clicked again.
It's I don't know if you have this it's not really a problem, but it's more like I don't really get nicknames because my name it is a last name all the time, and like last names can be nicknames as well.
Yeah.
So like, and it's really easy, really short. So there's no like nickname. Like sometimes our coworker Coop, he'll call me Reader.
Reader.
But like that's not. It's like there's no like shortened like.
Yeah.
Joey O.
I'm Joey O. It's me. I'm Joey O'Donnell. Joey O'Donnell. How you doing? Call me Joey O. Or J-O-D. Got some good ones here. People call you RB, though, I feel like. Sometimes. No?
Not really.
No.
I never really had a nickname. My baseball coach growing up, when I was in like little league and stuff, he'd call me either Sunshine or Hollywood.
Huh.
Sunshine because I had really long blonde hair, so I looked like Sunshine from Remember the Titans.
Sunshine.
So, but other than that, just Reed.
Just Reed. I like what Mr. Melt says. He used to get called Reader or Rito. I can say Rito. Rito. Daniel, appreciate that. He said, you guys are great. Watch every week from Missouri. Thank you so much, Daniel. Appreciate you. Daniel said 10-7's a reality. It's a possibility. Dude, what if the Browns just turn it around?
It is not out of the question.
Correct. It's very much in question, in fact.
Speaking of question, you have a question or a take.
Good transition. If you want to be on the show, folks, super chat or use the hashtag Browns with a question or a take. You want the world to hear your opinion on the Browns. Get it out there today by super chatting with it or use the hashtag Browns in that comment section. And we'll go through and pick a couple in there.
He'll figure. Hashtag Browns, not at Browns chat. It's read it as it's on screen right here. It'll pull it. Our software pulls it from the chat, so it has to be exactly hashtag Browns. Good question though. I like that question. We'll probably use that.
Probably not actually. Seems like an Alper question.
up against.
All right, fine.
Yeah. Because we can talk about the Browns' defense.
Yeah, true. True.
Because I don't know about you. I think Ramondre Stevenson is worse than Travion Henderson.
Really? I mean,
I think they should start Travion.
neither of them have been very productive. Stevenson's a little better when he doesn't fumble. But the important thing is Judkins is better than both of them. People, you guys remember?
I can't believe how late Judkins was drafted.
Dude, I also can't believe people were saying we should have drafted Henderson over Judkins as an Ohio State running back. It was always Judkins. It was always him. He's the stud. Now, see, that's a good one from Patrick Edits right there. A little Denzel Ward trade rumors. Super chat or use the hashtag Browns if you want to be on the show. Judkins is a beast. Yeah, which might as well hop right into it then, eh? Let's do it, folks. Like I said, big Shedeur Sanders coming up. Update on today's video. Some Browns trade news and rumors. They are everywhere as the trade deadline approaches. And then finally, we will answer all your questions. Super chat with a question or use the hashtag Browns in that comment section. But you automatically get in with the super chat. Hashtag Browns. We will go through and pick a few in that live chat right there. But folks, I think we should get right into our first segment here because everybody's wondering, when will we see Shedeur? What's going on? We got an update. Might help you figure out when it will be, give you a little more insight on the rookie quarterback situation. Do I think they'll trade Sanders? I don't think so. I think teams were inquiring, but wouldn't make sense. It'd be cheap, and he actually does a lot for your team, and just by being on it. So, but I just want them to give him a chance soon. All right. Feel good, Reed? Feel ready? Let's go. Are they ready? Everybody ready for our first segment? I say we do it. Hey, look at that. 30 likes on the stream. Hit that like button, folks, and let's get into the Shedeur update that we have for you right here, right now. We've got an update on Shedeur Sanders, his future in Cleveland. The Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski just told us something that you need to know. If you're wondering when we're finally going to see 12, well, this might help you figure that out. Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and this is why you subscribe to the channel, because when there is news, when there are updates on the Browns quarterbacks, when Shedeur will play, how Gabriel's doing, literally everything Cleveland Browns, I'm here for you all year round, every single day. So hit that red subscribe button if you want to be in the know, if you want to know when 12 will play, and everything that happens with your football team. All right, so here's what Kevin Stefanski told us about Shedeur. When asked if Shedeur was getting reps with the first teamers, he said no. With a young quarterback, with Dillon starting, you want to make sure he gets a lot of the reps. But Shedeur still getting reps in a bunch of different periods. And unfortunately, I think that's a shame. So now, even though Sanders has moved up to 2 on the depth chart, he is not being given reps with the ones. He doesn't get the practice with the starters, even though he may need to be thrown into a game situation if something were to happen to Gabriel. Or, as we know, we expect to see him later in the season no matter what. But my question to Kevin Stefanski is, so what's your plan? And when will it happen for Shedeur Sanders? When will he get reps with the ones in practice, right? Because, Gabriel, when he was the backup, he got reps with the ones when Flacco was starting. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a little bit. But unfortunately, this could mean that we're weeks away from seeing Shedeur Sanders play, because now, if you were telling me he'd be the starter in a week or two and had no practice whatsoever, ever, with the Browns starters, that either seems like it's a setup for him to fail or that he's not going to be the starting quarterback anytime soon. And I don't know how you couldn't go and reevaluate this, because what we've seen from Gabriel has really not been impressive through 3 starts. He's got 98 total pass attempts, right? Well, 66 of those are from 9 yards or less. Like, if it feels like Gabriel's throwing a lot of short passes, it's because he is. It's not just the eye test. It's not just the narrative. The stats back it up as well. The box score shows it. He's 11 of 28 on intermediate range passes, anywhere from 10 to 19 yards. It's not a great completion percentage. And 1 of 4 on passes over 20 yards. It really is dink and dunk. It really is check down football. I mean, 67% of the time, Gabriel throws passes under 9 yards. This was my scouting report on him the entire season. I said, I expect this is what we'll see. This game manager, safe football. He hasn't turned it over, to his credit. But you cannot argue with the numbers that it has been short and slow. And when the Browns put up 31 last week, I mean, Gabriel wasn't on the field for 3 of the touchdowns. Browns insider Daniel Yafusi of ESPN gives us some more insight when Stefanski was asked if it's possible for a young QB to be too cautious. Well, Dillon hasn't thrown an interception in 3 starts, but there's been 2 dropped interceptions per ESPN research. And he ranks last in yards per attempt at 5.1. Yards per dropback, 4.22. And air yards per attempt, 5.6. Those are the averages, folks. You know, Stefanski said, we've talked about it over the years. You want to be smart and aggressive. You don't want to just be conservative for the sake of being conservative. So it's a balance there. And we coach our quarterbacks to be aggressive when the time calls for it. Let it rip. And then also understanding that taking care of the football is a big part of our job. So if you don't want to be conservative just for the sake of being conservative, but that's what it feels like. It feels like they're being safe and protective with Dillon Gabriel. By the way, Gabriel has a 59.8% completion percentage right now. That's 31st in the league. And 6 turnover-worthy plays according to PFF, which is 20th in the NFL. He's also top 10 in turnover-worthy play percentage. Folks, I can't sit up here and say it was a good idea. I'm tired of acting like it, because if you've been watching my show, my analysis has always been that Shedeur has the higher ceiling, that he should have been drafted ahead of Gabriel in the NFL draft. I never understood the Gabriel draft pick. And as a Browns fan, I've tried to be positive. I've tried to come on here for weeks and say, let's look at him, let's give him a shot. And every week, I'm seeing exactly what I said you're going to see, exactly what I thought we would see. Game managing football. So yeah, he does need a lot more reps. Because he's not NFL ready. He's not ready to be a starting quarterback of a team. And it may sound like I'm being harsh on him, but this is through 3 weeks what we've seen. And I get the Browns have a lot of issues, but it doesn't excuse the play from Dillon Gabriel, which he's not going to help you win football games. He's not going to take over the game. You need a good team around Dillon Gabriel for him to be successful. What we did against the Dolphins was dominant. 4 takeaways, right? We're not going to do that every game. We didn't do that against the Steelers, against the Ravens, against the Lions, and we got blown out in all 3 of those. So you tell me. Cleveland Browns insider Mary Kay says that Shedeur has been looking great in practice. Shedeur Sanders has been making a ton of progress. He looks really good. And if you put Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel side by side in a 7-on-7 red zone drill, I think Shedeur would probably win that drill much of the time. Or if you put them up against each other in a pockets drill, I think Shedeur would win that a lot of the time. The reviews I'm hearing from inside the building are really, really good on Shedeur's progress right now. But I think they still want to give Dillon some time. Now, he's got to make some points out there. He's got to produce and generate some touchdown passes. Folks, Shedeur's balling in practice. He's showing those flashes. Yeah, Mary Kay is someone who attends the practices, is inside the facility, and talks to many sources in the building. And they're all saying glowing remarks about Shedeur right now. The hype could be real. The talent could be there, inevitable for the Cleveland Browns to see. And maybe I'm impatient, but I just don't have time to sit around and wait for Dillon Gabriel to develop, because obviously they're both rookies, but this is Cleveland's evaluation. And remember, Gabriel was getting first-team reps when he was quarterback too. Shedeur's quarterback too now, and they're not giving him first-team reps. Now, Stefanski justified this by saying, Flacco was a vet. It's a little bit different. And that's fair. I understand that part of it. My issue is I disagree with the Cleveland Browns evaluation. And so I think we are wasting time, if I'm being completely honest with you. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love for Gabriel to go out there and ball out. Through 3 starts, you cannot tell me that you have any inkling that that will be the case going forward. He hasn't thrown it deep. We don't connect on deep balls. Shedeur would do that. And if this does continue from Dillon Gabriel, week after week after week, well, then he absolutely has to be benched for Shedeur. There were sources saying that Sanders will start the last 4 games of the season, no matter what. Others said that he might be in play earlier than that. And I think it's something Cleveland needs to explore because, like I said, folks, if you've watched the games, if you've looked at the numbers, it's not there right now for Dillon Gabriel. It wasn't for Flacco either. At least Gabriel's not turning it over. But he is throwing it short consistently. 66 attempts at 9 yards or less. He's not winning football. Predict it for me, Browns fans. Will Shedeur Sanders play this season? If you think he will, type Y for yes. If you don't think so, if you think based on what the Browns have been doing, based on their actions, it seems like they're going to roll with Gabriel the rest of the year, then type N for no. Let me know in that comment section. I think we will see him. I think we should see him. I'm just being honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into some more Browns news and Shedeur updates, let me tell you that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Football is in full swing now on Sundays. All is right with the world, and I'm big into daily fantasy with Prize Picks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining, and before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. You know I have another lineup for the week, folks. This time, Prize Picks gave us an awesome deal of Stephen Curry, more than half a point. He did that, and I have an emotional prize pick here. Quinshon Judkins, less than 72.5 rushing yards against the Patriots. Either I win money, or I'm hyped up about Quinshon Judkins getting rushing yards. And finally, Bijan Robinson, more than half a touchdown. We saw how bad that Dolphins defense was. Quinshon put a hat trick on him. I expect Bijan to score. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. ESPN Cleveland, Tony Rizzo specifically said, if I see that again from Dillon Gabriel, the play that we've seen every single week so far, said I would take the bye and I would use the 2 weeks to get Shedeur ready to start against the Jets. To be honest, folks, I thought that was going to be the plan. I thought after the first few starts that we saw from Dillon Gabriel, they weren't going to be anything special. They haven't been anything special. And so Cleveland would take the bye to get Shedeur ready and give him a start coming out of it against the New York Jets, a very winnable football game. If there's a game that can give you some confidence, that can get people hyped up, it would be that one for number 12. But like I said, remember, we also have the Titans and the Raiders on our schedule. There'll be plenty of games that Shedeur can go out there and dominate when he does make his first start. Based on what Stefanski's telling us today, the fact that Shedeur isn't getting reps with the ones, it seems like it will be later than that plan, later than week 10. Unless Gabriel plays just so unbearably bad this Sunday, well, then we're going to have a real conversation during the bye and probably start Shedeur instead. But that's the thing. Like, it's not like Gabriel's doing anything unfathomably wrong, right? He hasn't turned it over. It's just not a winning recipe. He's just playing super conservative, super safe, and we're still not moving the football down the field very well. So it's not like he's going out there and turning it over at the rate that Joe Flacco was, right, where you had no choice but to bench him, right? No, he's not doing anything unbelievably wrong, so I don't think this is going to be the case. I think it's probably a few weeks later in the season that we actually see Shedeur, but I do think that he'll give us a better chance when he finally gets out there. And this is the truth, Browns fans. This is what actually happened. The Browns picked Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders. This was a Stefanski decision. This was a Barry decision. The Browns made their assessment of talent, and they really thought that Dillon Gabriel was better than Shedeur. I disagree with it. You disagree with it. Browns fans all over the world disagree with it. People on social media disagree with the decision that Kevin Stefanski and the Browns front office made. But this is how they're going to run their offense. This is how they're going to make their decisions, is based on that fact to them that Gabriel's a better quarterback or more NFL ready than Shedeur Sanders. So all their decisions are coming with that. It's like a philosophical argument, right? If you think this is true, then this is how you should act. That's how the Browns are approaching this. They think Gabriel gives them a better chance, which I'm just mad about because I disagree with, and I'm tired of watching losing football. And the Cleveland Browns have a history of being wrong. Do they not? Have they ever been correct about a quarterback? Name a time. Literally only Baker Mayfield, and then they let him go. So, am I crazy for disagreeing with the Browns quarterback evaluation? I don't think so. I ask you one more time, Browns fans. Who do you think is better? Type DG if you think Dillon Gabriel is the better quarterback. Type SS if you think Shedeur Sanders. Let me know in that comment section below what your evaluation is, Browns fans. Is it similar to the Cleveland Browns, or do you have your own opinion like I do? Some positive news for the Cleveland Browns, at least, is that we've got Quinshon Judkins in town. Look at what Judkins tweeted out, just out of the blue, October 21st. He said, "Cleveland, I love you. Judkins, we love you in Cleveland." He was asked about this and said, "Cleveland is home. I played at Ohio State. Ohio is all I know, man. I want to die playing football here in Cleveland and give them everything I got." That's the kind of player I want in Cleveland, man. Judkins has been such a bright spot. Number 10's a stud. We love having him. He's balling, put up 3 touchdowns against the Dolphins. Show QJ some love and like this video right now to show some support for Quinshon Judkins, baby. He's in Cleveland, hopefully for a long, long time to come. I mean, he's literally our bright spot on offense, folks, with that hat trick of tutties. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Browns Report. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on X at Joey070. You're also going to want to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss any Browns news, any Browns quarterback updates that we have for you. We're going to monitor this very closely, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're coming off the big win, so I'm still feeling hyped up about that. But we're not going to win games with that kind of offense every single week and barely over 100 yards passing. I'm telling it how it is. Hit that subscribe button if you want real Cleveland Browns news. I'll be here for you every single day, folks. And let's get back in the win column again this Sunday. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. All right. Good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Good stuff. Oh, Chris came in with the 10, baby. $10 super chat. Says, folks just want Shedeur because he's the flashy name. But that same flash pointing at the watch gives Johnny Manziel vibes. It will fade quick when defenses start gunning for him. Gabriel's solid. Chris, totally respect your opinion. Thank you so much for that 10. But I also think it gives Baker Mayfield vibes. I think it gives that moxie and charisma that Baker walked out with. I mean, you saw Baker get fired up. You saw Baker talk a lot and say in the press that he woke up feeling dangerous. That, to me, is Shedeur as well. But I get your comparison. I think that's low-key, like, he's going to go one way or the other.
I'll hop in here.
Yeah.
I think it's a mix between the two of Johnny Manziel and Baker Mayfield. Johnny Manziel read 0 of the playbook. I don't think that's Shedeur.
No.
That'd be we would know that by now.
Shedeur's out there practicing on his off days, by the way.
He's practicing. He's learning. He's doing everything that you're supposed to as a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's just the third one on the list, and now second. So it's like literally Johnny Manziel had no desire to ever be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Like he didn't care at all.
Yeah.
Shedeur cares a lot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is that flash, and there is those rumors of, he didn't really prepare for draft interviews and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, there's a little bit of that.
Right.
Kind of like Johnny Manziel. Obviously, during the draft, Johnny Manziel's story was way worse than Shedeur.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel was getting pee from other people to make sure he passed drug tests.
Oh, yeah.
And he was making up stories about his dad. So
yeah, that one was a mistake. That
was crazy.
That draft pick was a mistake. First rounder Johnny Manziel. But yeah, Chris, I see where you're coming from, but I assure you, he will not be a Johnny Football. Don't you worry. Chris again with the $5 super chat. Who is our deep threat receiver? I'll wait. And that's a fair point. I mean, our receivers suck right now.
I'd have to say Judy, but he's not really doing it right now.
Yeah, Judy would be the guy, right? So, but that's partially on the quarterback. That's partially on us having no receivers, you know? I think Shedeur would go out there and at least take some deep shots.
Bobby Johnson. Copy and paste that exact question and put hashtag Browns in front of it or after it, and we'll answer that on the mailbag. That's a great question.
Yeah, I like that, Bobby. Put those in there, man, with the hashtag Browns. Chris, we'll put you on the show as well with your super chats. Appreciate you. But yeah, I get what you're saying, man. I honestly, too, though, I don't think it's crazy to say that just because of how much hype Shedeur has and charisma and moxie that players would step up. It's what happened when Baker came in. When Tyrod Taylor got hurt, we came back and beat the Jets down 14-0. There's a spark factor that you can't look at analytically. It just happens in sports, and you know that, and I know that. We've seen it before.
Reed, make sure to put your hashtag Browns in the same comment. The software will only pull that one comment that just says hashtag Browns. And then it'd be funny because we could put it up and be like, all right, hashtag Browns. Yeah, I totally agree. All right, next question.
Which we've done.
Little Shedeur action. Just be like,
there you go, Bobby. He figured it out. If Flandemeyer has a good point too. Isaiah Bond's a deep thrash as well. If Stefanski would game plan for it too, that's the other thing. I'll say that is the one thing that scares me is the Browns system for quarterbacks. I'm a little worried that
it's obviously not working. It didn't do well for Joe Flacco, but as soon as Joe Flacco has two really good weapons and a good offense, he throws for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, which is what he can do. I mean, I really do wonder, too. Like, dude, Deshaun Watson looked so bad when he played for Cleveland. Like, unbelievably bad. It's crazy to think that's the same player that was in Houston a couple years before. It's really, and part of it was he missed a year. Obviously, there's going to be some rust. But, like, dude, he had, like, it was, like, yeah. It was awful. Now people are starting to say, hey, is that because of Stefanski and his system? Like, are we harming quarterbacks? Maybe. We could. Sure. Yeah, keep it secret. But yeah. No, that's the truth, too. I mean, that's the thing, guys. I've been a Browns fan my whole life. Like, it's just the truth. They have not done a good job of evaluating quarterback, especially under Jimmy Haslam, which bought the team in 2012. Like, they had some of the worst years I've ever experienced as a fan. Anyone, even people that have been fans longer than me, those were the worst years when we went 0-16 and 1-15 in back-to-back years. I watched every single game for 2 years and saw one win. I mean, you know what we're dealing with here. Trying to get it right. Trying to get it right, Browns fans. Lots of good questions coming in from the people. I miss Josh Gordon. Raul Havana. He actually is one of the biggest, like, what if he kept playing? Because he was tearing it up. One of the most elite receivers I've watched. So
he
good.
was like he was top 10 in like the 2010s.
Oh yeah, bro, he was top 5, man. Elite. Trade news is coming up on the show as well today, folks. You're not going to want to miss this. We gave you our Shedeur update. We got more coming up from ESPN, from The Athletic. Browns are in the talk of more trades, so you're not going to want to miss this. And then, like I said, super chat to get into our Q&A video, or use the hashtag Browns in that live chat with a question or with a take, folks. We're going to have a fun time on today's show. It's a wonderful Wednesday. It's me and Reed. It's a good time. Love it, love it. Man, I hope we beat the Patriots this Sunday. That'd be huge. That changes everything. That's one of the best teams left on the schedule for us. So, get ready, folks. AFC North, we're 2 games back of first. It's not over. I don't know if you guys see Harbaugh as being very discreet about if Lamar's healthy or not. He's like, won't comment on it at all. We root for the Bears super hard this Sunday. It's Bears-Ravens. If the Ravens lose one more game, like, their season might be over. Bury them. Bury them. James, that's a funny question. What would it take for you to just be like, I'm done as a Browns?
Do you have anything in mind?
Yeah, if they never played Shedeur, and then he went to another team and just became one of the best quarterbacks in the league, I might actually trade you.
Because that happened twice.
Yes, literally, that's basically what happened with Baker. Because I never wanted us to trade Baker, and I kept texting people and tweeting like, please keep Baker, and then they got rid of him. And look at this. Now I was right. He's top 5 in the league.
I would say probably if Deshaun came back and they just played him for like the next 3 years.
And he just played awful. Oh, yeah, that would be it. Now, unfortunately, though, James, the real answer is I'm locked in for life. I'm always going to be a Browns fan no matter what. No matter how much they irritate me over the next few years, I'm locked in. I'm locked in, baby. Since birth. My dad was a Browns fan. I just got into it. Original man. You don't think Baker's a top 5 quarterback right now? Right now? The way this season, wouldn't you put Baker top 5?
Like with the injuries and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson are out right now.
Yeah.
The top 5 right now, it's unfortunately Mahomes.
Yep.
Josh
Allen.
Baker Mayfield. I mean, if you want to put Stafford and
Dak's playing at an elite level right now, but he's not. I don't think he's actually a top 5 quarterback.
maybe Jalen Hurts.
Maybe.
But I think that 5th spot is definitely up for grabs right now.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, yeah. Sam Darnold could be 5 right now. Like, he's a top 5 right now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. Yeah, Daniel Jones.
Jones is playing very well. Saying Soul with the $2 super chat. Oh, yeah? Soul Train? Yeah. Dude, this guy CJ is still on the Dillon Gabriel should be traded to the Steelers train. Bengals fan? CJ, why do you want DG on the Steelers, though? Soul Train! $2. Thank you so much, Soul Train. How significant would adding Wilson to the wide receiver room be? We need a one, dude. Last year, Judy was the clear one. He's just not getting the production this year. He's dropping balls, not linking up with either quarterback. I would love another Ohio State product. Clear, dude. By the way, Garrett Wilson as a talent, one of the most talented wide receivers in the league. Like, just as a pure talent. You got to understand that he's on the Jets, and of course that's why he's frustrated. But if you watch his film, like, he's a super talent.
He reminds me a lot of, like, not by at all by, like, personality and how you play, but, like, the talent wise of, like, George Pickens.
I was about to say that.
George Pickens is so talented.
Yeah.
And so is Garrett Wilson, where they're just so good at football and what they do. But they I mean, now George Pickens, obviously, before he went to the Cowboys, like, he was still producing well, but, like, kind of fell off a little bit with bad quarterback play with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And then he gets balls from Dak Prescott. Pause. And now he's just going crazy. Like,
I was gonna say that
good.
as well. I was gonna say that as well. I've been saying it for a couple years, watching him in the AFC North. I was like, George Pickens is a super talent as a receiver as well. If he had a quarterback, I think he'd be in some conversations. Garrett Wilson too. I'd love him in Cleveland, man. That'd be so electric. I wonder. These rumors have been swirling, man. Like, I wonder, like, who's talking about this? Because that would be electric. I'd take him. I'll take him. I mean, he might get mad in Cleveland though too. That's the only thing is we gotta get right. But see, that's the other thing though. Like, some of these guys, they'd probably be down to. They would probably want to play with Shedeur. He just has the hype. Just hope.
Like, if you're a star wide receiver, I mean, and you want to get traded somewhere, like, you want to go somewhere where there's a good quarterback,
right?
Or a quarterback that will get you targets,
right?
That will throw the ball to you.
And credit to Flacco, like, he's just force feeding Jamar Chase.
Yes,
and he's a veteran. Like, he knows how to handle some locker rooms. Like,
and when people are like, oh, like, you can't just force feed it, like, it won't work. It will. Like, when you got Carson Wentz, like, there's a difference between a good veteran and a bad veteran. Yeah. Good veteran, Joe Flacco, he knows what he needs to do to make the team better.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz repeatedly misses Justin Jefferson when he's wide open.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just throw. You have the second best wide receiver in the NFL on your team. Just get him the ball.
Yeah.
Whatever you can do, get him the ball.
Yeah. No, literally. To connect that to the Browns too, there's this really interesting situation going on when we had Baker Mayfield and Odell. And Baker would actually play better when Odell wasn't on the field. Because there was, like, a psychological thing of, like, you know, they were, like, wanting to be friends off the field. And, you know, Baker's, like, half and half. Like, I got to get him targets, but also half, like, I got to make the right play. And it just never worked. And then Odell's dad, like, tweeted out that video of Baker missing him on different routes. And it was, like, it became a mess. But wide receivers can be divas, too. That's the only other thing. Your boy A.J. Brown, man.
I think it's warranted, though, because wide receiver is really the only position in the NFL where your entire, like, paycheck, bonuses, everything that's tied to your game and what makes you a good player is reliant on somebody else.
Yeah, I get you.
You can be the best wide receiver in the world. You
right.
are so fast. You get off the line. You beat your man. You do the right route. You're wide open.
Yeah.
And quarterback doesn't hit you.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
Like, you're like, I'm getting open. See?
Yeah,
but, like,
I get you.
You get 2 targets, maybe 1 catch for 20 yards.
Right.
The people are gonna be like, oh, he sucks.
Right.
It's like, well, no, he doesn't. He's getting open, but, like, nobody's hitting him.
No, literally.
So, like, your entire job relies on somebody else doing good.
Yeah, literally. And you could, like, imagine, like, too, one of, like, Like, imagine if you were like really good, like talent, on-air talent, and then like you have a producer that's like super like slow or something, and you're like
Literally.
cooking up content, and
You're
then you're just
getting
like waiting
so much
for them.
good content out, and I'm just putting up the wrong graphic.
Yeah, right. And it just makes everybody look bad. It's like, yeah, I get what you mean. The wide receiver, you kind of need.
Like if you made one of the best videos
Right.
and you knew it was gonna get 1 million views on YouTube,
Yeah.
you knew,
Yeah.
and I just repeatedly put up the wrong graphic.
Yeah. Just fuck it up.
Everything was spelled wrong because I typed it out, and I put up the wrong picture. Like everything, a lot of stuff was wrong, and it only got like 5,000 views.
Right.
You'd be like,
Pissed.
you'd be pissed.
Right.
That's kind of how it is for wide receivers.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from now for sure. So every team needs a good quarterback. More of the story. Francis got Cleveland by 17.
Like, you could see how terrible with Jamar Chase was with Jake Browning.
Yeah.
He couldn't find him.
Well, Jake Browning was just awful, dude. He was completely missing rep. That is a perfect example because I was watching those games, and Jamar would be wide open, and Browning's not even looking or not even making the throw. That's why the Bengals called us up for Joe Flacco. It was getting that bad. We're like, all right, take a 5th round pick.
And then we got the Browns have such a good defense. What they do in the video terms, they go and edit the video before it gets published. And they fix some of the mistakes.
Yeah.
And then they publish it.
Miami said, "Damn, man, you're the Terrell Owens of content creators." Divas. Well, that's funny. All right, folks. Our next segment is going to be all about Browns trade news. You will not want to miss this one, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, are we got that cool polo? Is that what we're showing people? CLE polo? Cool. Okay. Works for me. I kind of want to buy that one, dude. Kind of looks clean. All right. Folks, we got some more content for you here. Trade news, trade rumors. You're not going to want to miss this. Get ready. Buckle up. I'm going to post this video probably tomorrow as well. So be the first to comment on these if you're seeing them on the live. Be the first like. And might as well get right into it. Sure. It costs $72 to subscribe to The Athletic, but if you subscribe to the Brown Support, it's $0, and we're going to give you all the content in the articles, the trade news, the trade rumors involving the Cleveland Browns. You will not want to miss this one, folks. Welcome in the Brown Support. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and The Athletic gave us tons of insight on the Cleveland Browns' plan before the trade deadline. What are they thinking? Where's Andrew Berry's head at? Are they buyers? Are they sellers? Moves are coming for the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to give you guys what they told us, also what ESPN said are the most likely moves for the Browns. So first off, The Athletic had in big letters that the Cleveland Browns are listed as sellers. Are they done buying? Are they just giving players away before that November 4th deadline? Here's exactly what they said. This is not to insinuate that a full fire sale is coming or that the Browns will aggressively try to shop their best players. No, but it's been long been clear that the focus in Cleveland is on the future. And with so many players in the final year of their current contracts, the Browns will listen when the phones ring. Now, I would tell you that the Cleveland Browns could do both buying and selling before the NFL trade deadline. That's been evidenced by a lot of their moves. We've seen it from Cleveland many times before, and they're in that weird position where they have such a good class of rookies, lots of young talent for the future, a really good defense where you think if they had a good offense, they would be competing right now. But I do think at this point, selling is probably more likely for the Cleveland Browns, just where they are record-wise and with all the expiring contracts on that roster. And so, yes, I think buying is in the question. Let's look at all the moves that they have made so far. They traded for Cam Robinson, right? That was a move where you're a buyer. Then they traded away Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals. And then they did both. They swapped corners with the Jaguars. We brought in Tyson Campbell, who, by the way, has looked great for the Cleveland Browns. At least on Sunday against the Dolphins, he didn't allow a reception in zone coverage. It was incredible. Tyson Campbell, number 7, playing for Cleveland now. And so I do think that Cleveland will be making more moves by the time the deadline hits. And I think there absolutely is a possibility that they go out and acquire someone like they did earlier. However, selling seems to be the most likely thing. And who would they sell? The Athletic says most likely to go are defensive end Alex Wright, tight end David Njoku, and running back Jerome Ford for pennies. But the Browns also would likely at least entertain potential trades involving their veteran interior offensive linemen. Teams looking for pass rush help should check on Wright, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and Cameron Thomas. Lots to unpack here, folks. David Njoku being listed as a trade candidate again from another source. And we have talked about Njoku a lot on this show. He's on a contract year. He's coming off a big $55 million extension. It would probably be pricey to keep him in Cleveland. He's also injured right now, but he is expected to return to practice on Wednesday. Stefanski says he's truly day-to-day. We'll keep you updated on Njoku's status. What really shocked me is Alex Wright. This is the first time I'm hearing his name in any trade talks, as listed by The Athletic. And Alex Wright is having a great season for the Cleveland Browns so far, folks. In 7 games played, he's balling out. You see his PFF grade at the bottom there, 85.6 overall. He's got 2 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 18 total tackles. I mean, it's been very good. 6 pressures as well. He has come alive, and he's a starter on the Browns' defensive line. So I don't really agree with this from The Athletic. I don't think Alex Wright is actually up for grabs. I think we have so much depth on that line, and I'd be more likely to buy into the idea that Cameron Thomas gets moved, or Tryon-Shoyinka, or Shelby Harris, which is what Adam Schefter told us earlier. So it's very deep. There's a lot of stars on it. And I don't think a starter would be one that we would be giving up like Alex Wright, who's really come alive and emerged so far for the Cleveland Browns. I'd also love to keep Isaiah McCood. And Wright has started to get even more snaps than McGuire has. Aiden Huntington as well, very versatile player that we like to use even on offense, but mostly on defense as well. So I think our depth at the defensive line position is very intriguing for a lot of teams. A lot of teams that are looking to bolster up an area that Cleveland Browns have down pat. I imagine the phones will be ringing for our D-line, and I would only be okay with it if you give us something for it. Some draft pick compensation, maybe for a player that's on a contract year, sure. But I wouldn't want to trade a starter like Alex Wright. Let's keep our big boys up there. Jerome Ford's name has really been heating up among a lot of different sources, saying that he is a very likely candidate to be traded, maybe the most likely on the Cleveland Browns roster at the moment, to be dealt before that deadline. And obviously, we've got our running back in Cleveland for years to come, it feels like. We're super hyped up about it. But not only did The Athletic mention Jerome Ford, but also ESPN's Jeremy Fowler put out an article today listing Jerome Ford as one of the top 25 players that are most likely to be traded in the NFL before the deadline. Here's what Fowler said about it. The youth movement is ongoing in Cleveland, where Quinshon Judkins is featured in the backfield. The Browns are open to dealing Ford, who has 1,463 career rushing yards and 12 scrimmage touchdowns. So Fowler's telling us the Browns are, quote, open to dealing Ford. He gave some more insight on it and said the chances that Ford gets traded are 35% by ESPN's estimation. Some fits for Ford would be the Chargers, the Patriots, or the Texans. Finally, he fits best as a rotational back for one of those teams, so not necessarily an absolute starter. Kind of similar to how Cleveland uses him, although they've started using him less this season than they did last year. And so he could be a piece that a team buys for cheap, as The Athletic said, for pennies. I think you'd be looking at more of like a 6th or 7th round pick. You know, it would be a pretty cheap sell, maybe even a late round pick swap. But I think that's pretty good if you can get any draft pick for Jerome Ford right now. And we can use Dylan Sampson a little bit more than we have been. And Judkins is just going to have to be that workhorse. That's what he is. That's what it should be. I would love to get another running back to help Judkins, complement him, maybe help some blocking so Judkins doesn't have to do all that as well. He's probably our best blocking back. But that's the case. That's what Nick Chubb was. That's what Judkins will likely be, is a workhorse running back. And I think if you get a draft pick for Ford, who's on a contract year, by the way, that's an absolute W for the Cleveland Browns. Let me know, Browns fans, you agree with me. Should the Browns trade Jerome Ford this season? Type Y for yes if you think we should do that deal before November 4th. Type N for no if you want to keep Jerome Ford in Cleveland. They use him in the return game as well, but I do think he is expendable considering the rookies that we've got in the running back room. Coming up on today's show, more Browns trade notes from The Athletic, folks. That's right. They're not done telling us Cleveland Browns specific trade news, including a nugget about Myles Garrett. You will not want to miss what a price for Garrett might look like. But first, I got to tell you guys about this awesome deal here. Do you want a Cleveland Browns polo? It's fresh, it's fire, it's Tommy Hilfiger, looking fancy, and it's cheaper than you might think. It's over 50% off at chatsports.com/CLE polo. It was $70 to get this classic Browns polo. It is now only $32. I'm going to have to go and get one myself. I think it's clean, sleek looking. That is chatsports.com/CLE polo. I will put that link in the description. I will put it in the comment section so you can find it and click on it easily. Chatsports.com/CLE polo. Go get that. Rep the Cleveland Browns, looking fancy, looking suave. I think I'm going to get myself one of those. Like I said, it's over 50% off. Capitalize while we got that deal for you at chatsports.com/CLE polo. The Athletic said, Myles Garrett remains close to untouchable, thank God, unless a team offers 3 first-round picks at least. And that's just probably not going to happen, right? Who's going to give up 3 firsts for Myles? My first reaction, you may have heard it, just thank goodness, man. I mean, we can't afford to lose Myles Garrett. That defense is playing at an elite level right now. He's more than a generational talent. We're so lucky to have him in Cleveland. We just had to pay him the big bucks to get him to stay. But he stayed. And he's a difference maker. Now, I also think that coming off this big win helps, right? Because last week there started to be a little bit more speculation of, is Myles going to ask out again? Because he was pissed off. He was vocal about his frustration. He was like, I'm tired of losing this way. He said, it's frustrating as hell. Those are his words. Coming off a dominant 31-6 victory, I think this helps ease the Myles Garrett trade heat, the trade talks, that he'll ask out again. As long as we win some games, we'll be fine. And if we could just put together a quarterback and an offensive roster, we'd be in playoff games. I'm not kidding you. So I think that energy helps a little bit. The Athletic also said, much to Mike Tomlin's chagrin, the Browns might not even be done selling within the AFC North. Are you kidding me? Ian Rappaport said the Ravens have been calling around the league looking for defensive help, and I showed you guys how much depth Cleveland has on that defensive line. There's a possibility, according to the Athletic, that the Browns deal within the AFC North again. And I say, no more division trades, all right? You got your Flacco. Enjoy it. We're done trading with the rivals, okay? Because Flacco went out there and balled out and won the Bengals a football game on Thursday night. We're not helping out the Ravens. I like that the Ravens are playing terrible. I like that they're a dumpster fire, and I want to watch it continue to burn in Baltimore. They're dead last in the AFC North. We're ahead of them. The Cleveland Browns have jumped the Ravens in the standings. I think that's awesome. Keep it that way. Enjoy your turmoil. Have fun with your injuries. And let the Cleveland Browns have more wins than the Ravens. This is the standings right now. And you can see we've got more wins than that dang team. And we're only 2 games back of first place in the AFC North. I think we should just get it together because this is the year where you can actually compete in the AFC North. So figure this stuff out on offense, Browns, because we're not out of it. And I don't think the Bengals are going to be making much noise with Joe Flacco for the weeks to come. So, pretty funny. The Ravens suck. Like the video if you're happy that the Ravens are in dead last. Lol. Laughing out loud about it. It's great. It's great. We never get to see it. It's awesome. I mean, people were picking that team to win the Super Bowl this year, the Baltimore Ravens, and they're dead last in the division. It's funny. So I don't want to help them out anymore. I don't want to give them anybody in the division. Folks, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Browns Report. Like I said, we will cover you for free with trade news trade rumors about your favorite team, the Cleveland Browns. And all it takes is hitting that red sub button so you can be the first to know and be the most educated, the smartest Browns fan in the room. Thank you so much for sticking with me here on the Browns Report. I appreciate all of you that tune in. We'll see you very shortly here on the show. Cool. Sweet. Darko. What? Darko said, anyone we trade, I would include the 5th-round pick that we received for Pickett. Trade up for a 4th. Hey, low-key. I'm down. I'm down. Higher draft picks we can get. Barry did a great job last year's draft, man. I give him credit for that. Oh, you lead off with news on the backup. Yeah, everybody wants to know, though.
I think
that's the news.
The whole thing with news is things that people want to know.
Right.
Everyone wants to know what's going on with Shedeur, so you got to tell them.
Yeah. That's what the people tell me to. That's the videos that do the best. But also, the good news for the Browns, too. Everybody likes when we get
the definition of news is newly received or noteworthy information, especially about recent or important events.
Mm-hmm.
Does that explain Shedeur Sanders on the Cleveland Browns? When you have 2 rookie quarterbacks on the same team, drafted in the same time or same draft? Yeah.
I'd say so. Jared said, you ain't lying. And Stefanski gave us the update today. That he's not getting reps with the first teamers. He just announced that. And so that sent people in a frenzy on social media again. I don't know. What do you think of that? I'm curious to hear your opinion because that has been a hot topic.
He's not getting first team reps?
They're still not getting first team reps. Do you make anything of that?
I
know.
I think he's not getting first team reps being the backup. Coaches do it differently. But the fact that Gabriel was getting first team reps with being the backup means Shedeur should be getting first team reps because he's the backup. They officially named him as the backup, right?
Yeah.
He should be getting first team reps if that's how Stefanski does it. Some coaches don't do it that way.
Right.
Some coaches, like, I don't know if you remember the quote from, I forget who it was, but it was about Peyton Manning. I don't know if it was on the Broncos or the Colts. But it was like, or do you let the backup get any runs with the ones in practice? And he goes, if number 18 is not on the field, we're effed.
Yeah.
So he's like, no.
Right.
Like, not at all. That's not this case.
Right. That's the thing.
Though. Any backup should be getting reps if that's how Stefanski goes. And we've seen that. That's it. That is how he goes. Gabriel was getting backup.
Right.
So that pinpoints one thing is that he doesn't evaluate Shedeur as better or close to Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
He doesn't see him as a backup.
Right. So, and look, he just tried to justify. He said that Gabriel needs more reps right now. He's a young quarterback, getting his first few starts. And Flacco is a veteran, which, I could see that maybe. But
one drive, 2?
Yeah.
Come on.
0 reps.
In one period, at the end of the period.
Exactly. 0 reps from someone that you want to also evaluate this season is kind of crazy. Now, if they get to the point where, they bench Gabriel for Shedeur, and then Shedeur gets all the first team reps, okay, might make sense. I guess they're not planning for that yet, though. We'll see after the bye, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, dude, I hate saying it, but it's starting to become a little bit of part of the truth. Bobby said, we're in a rebuild and Stefanski thinks his job is safe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why.
I mean, think about like the Giants right now. Brian Dable took a chance on his guy,
Right.
the guy that he wanted. It worked out. Dart
Uh-huh.
Dart seems to be like that guy.
And I think that's the difference.
That's the difference.
Gabriel, Stefanski's guy is Gabriel.
Yep.
And like I've been saying all along, I just disagree with their evaluation of talent.
And I think he's calling plays that helps Gabriel not look like a rookie quarterback.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the play calling is vastly different than with Joe Flacco.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know.
Bro. Which sucks is from the fans' perspective. It's like, we're not trying to watch that. Just 5-yard passes.
Bobby, I don't know if the Browns could have gotten Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. You'd have to draft him really high.
They traded up for him at 25 in the first round. So you already made a trade with the Jags to go to get Mason Graham. You're never gonna take Jackson Dart at 5.
Right. 5th overall. People thought he'd be available in the second round. Craziness, folks. Jared said, "You ain't lying again." Jared Brown, man. So, Elite said maybe if Shedeur fans weren't tyrants, he would get some reps. What does the fan base have to do with anything? If the Browns make decisions based on the fans, that'd be a weak-minded team then. Which, to be fair, that was another thing last game though. When it was a blowout, it was 31-6 with 5 minutes left. They didn't put Shedeur in. It was still the starters. Even Judkins, I was like, why is Judkins still out there? I mean, he's been worked a lot today. Let's make sure he stays healthy.
I love Bobby. I love the comment because I think the same way a lot. And the only way to do that is if we had a crystal ball. Like, people evaluate quarterbacks differently. I'm sure plenty of teams would have wanted to draft Tom Brady if it knew they were going to get 6 Super Bowls out of him. Like,
Right.
I just think
6-7 really.
6-7.
He won 7, I bet.
Yeah, well, he won 6 with the Patriots.
Yeah. I just wanted
6-7. So it's like, in reality, you'd be like, oh yeah, I wish we did that. It's like, yeah, but in the time, you're like, you value him as a 5th round quarterback. Like, so
Walter
when
Wilson.
you say like, oh, should have just traded to get him at number 2, it's like everyone would have been like, what are you doing?
Right.
And yeah, the gamble would have worked out, but like, you never know that.
Right.
What if you gambled on Johnny Manziel and he turned out great? Like,
Yeah.
it didn't happen. So it's like, you never know. You literally never know. And I always say like, oh, I could have taken the over on that sports game if I known both teams would have scored more than the total.
Right.
Like, you don't know. That's why it's
don't know.
always tough.
You don't know. I do wonder what they saw in
Right,
game-
yeah. Bobby said with the same thing with Mahomes.
with Mahomes. Yeah. One thing that has been consistent on those, when they drafted Gabriel in the 3rd, I was shocked. I was like, what are we doing? At that point, it still seemed like Shedeur was like a 1st rounder sliding. So, ZVZ son, what's up, my guy? Good to see you, man. What point do you start looking at Haslam and possible interference with coaches? I think the owner is a problem, dude. Haslam's making this tough, ZVZ son. You know what? Do you guys remember when Hugh Jackson kind of came out? And listen, he's the worst head coach I've ever seen in my life. But do you remember when he came out like a couple years after and was like saying he was being incentivized to tank by the owner? I mean, wouldn't shock me, honestly, the way that they handled last year and the start to this year.
If you were terrible, wouldn't you blame it on somebody else?
Right? Start doing that.
Were you incentivized to tank? Yeah.
Yeah,
I was losing
definitely.
games on purpose.
I was told if we get a high draft pick, we can draft someone good. I think that's essentially what he said too. It's pretty funny. All right, folks. A lot of you seem to know what the deal is because our last segment of the day is going to be answering all your questions, Browns fans. If you want to automatically be in our video, then super chat with your question or a take. If you have a take that you want YouTube to see, super chat and put the take in there because I'm going to post this video on YouTube. Or you can use that hashtag Browns in the live chat and hope that your question gets picked. But super chat, skip the line. We'll put you up on the screen and we'll get you out there and answer it. Or I'll react to whatever you want, Browns fans. It's all about you for our final segment of the live show today. Let's see. 150 people watching right now. 84 likes on the stream. Let's get this to 100 likes too. Why not? If 16 more people, just tap that like button real quick and we'll get into our final segment, the Q&A. Answer all your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Look back at some of the comments as I was filming. Ian says, the Ravens are terrible. With a smiley face. That was awesome. James said, always been, always will be a Browns fan. That's where we're at, James. Dog check. Oh, yeah. Wait, what happened with the Alex Wright stat thing? Are you going to be able to fix that? In post, I guess? Oh, okay, bet. Okay, bet. I mean, it's not the biggest deal, the list 3-1, but if you can, sure. Good. Oh, okay. The scoop is in. Scoop and Boogie. Whoop, whoop. Scoop, you're a legend. $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. And this is a perfect question for the show, I feel like. Do they evaluate Sanders this season? And if they do, what scenario calls for us taking a quarterback in round 1? I feel like we're spinning our wheels with DG. Scoop, what a great question, dude. This is all things I think Browns fans want to know about, especially going into the draft if we have a high pick. Let's see. Dude, they literally could. There's a world where they do take Dante Moore or Mendoza, another quarterback. But yes. Well, yeah. Yes, I think they evaluate Sanders this season. And if they do, so I think we're going to get at least a 4-game sample size with Shedeur. I think and hope it could be more. I think it could be up to 6. 6, 7 even. But I think that in order for us to take a quarterback in round 1, both Gabriel and Sanders would have to play really bad. If you can make the evaluation that one of them has promise to be the starting quarterback next year, dude, I do hope that Stefanski, I hope he doesn't. I hope if Shedeur goes out there and plays well, that he doesn't let an ego get in the way, like people are saying, of well, he's got to be like, well, I was wrong, man. Shedeur's better than Gabriel. You know what I mean? That's why people are also saying fire Stefanski and start Shedeur. Should be crazy, but also might work. But I don't know. The Scoop. Appreciate your $5 super chat, man. I think we will evaluate Shedeur this year. And the way they draft another quarterback is if both of these two rookies are bad this year. And then we need to bring in a competition.
I also think if they draft a quarterback without even letting Shedeur get in at all this year, and then go and draft another quarterback, then everyone's talking about how there's an agenda against Shedeur,
Right.
I'm on board.
No, yeah. Like it's literally some things are starting to make you question it. And they'd still have Gabriel on the roster, so it'd be like 3 young quarterbacks we don't have a starter. I don't know. That does go hand in hand, though, as you wonder, what is going to be the thing that gets Shedeur in there, right? Assuming they're all healthy. When will they say, I'm going to bench Gabriel?
Like, you never want to root for injury.
Never.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
Exactly.
We don't want Gabriel to get hurt.
Mm-mm.
Like, that is not, but like, if it happens, Shedeur's going in, and we'll see him. Like,
Right.
that'll be like Gabriel gets sacked really hard, and Shedeur has to go in because he got hurt. Like, you don't want that, but like that is a situation where that'll happen.
Right.
But I think they finally let him kind of go with the playbook a little bit, and you're like, all right, you open it up a little bit, and you start throwing some deep shots. Maybe he throws across the middle.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
He throws like 3 picks, throws for 110 yards and no touchdowns.
Right. Right. They're not even. Both the game plan and Gabriel's play are just. There's no deep shots at all. There's no connection down the field. So it's like. We'll see. After this game, Browns fans will call for Shedeur. Pat's going to have a field day on DG. This will be a test for sure. You know what? There's been some tough matchups for Gabriel for sure in his first few starts. Let's see. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's answer everybody's questions on the show. Who's ready? You can super chat while we're doing the video, and Reed will get you in there. But we've got some picked out that we're ready to film right now. Oh, we're 7.
We're 7 likes away from 100. We'll start the mailbag when we get to 100.
We got to get 100 likes.
138 people watching. 7 of you haven't liked the video. I guarantee.
Guarantee.
Goes a long way.
Yay. Imani said, Shedeur must be trash because if he was the man, he would be starting. I don't think that's the case, though. Like I said, I think the Browns are just incorrect about their evaluation. And they think Gabriel's better, but what we're seeing through weeks, it's not been the case. One more like to 100. We're at 99 likes. And then we shall film the Q&A. We'll answer all your questions and takes, Browns fans, here on the show with a super chat. One more like away. We're at 99 likes. 100. Hey. All right. Let's do it for the people. Good stuff, Reed. I could be ready, yeah. Trying to think. Are you going to live questions first? Okay. Sure. Yeah, whatever you said sounds great. Gotcha. Okay. All right, cool. Let's do. Yeah. Browns fans, we've got news and rumors around your favorite team. You will not want to miss this edition. It's everything that Cleveland Browns fans want to know right now about their head coach, their quarterback, what's going on in Cleveland. I got answers for you on the show. Welcome in. You're watching the Browns Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue. And without further ado, I say we get right into this first question from Browns fan Chris. Says, folks just want Shedeur because he's the flashy name. But that same flash pointing at the watch gives Johnny Manziel vibes. It will fade quick when defenses start gunning for him. Gabriel's solid with an exclamation point. Chris, what I will say to this, and I super appreciate your $10 super chat and your take, man, for the world to see. I think the moxie and the charisma reminds me a little bit more of Baker Mayfield. And that worked out well as a quarterback in the National Football League. I think Cleveland needs that type of flash. We need that energy in Cleveland right now. We're lacking. Our offense is stagnant. Our offense is sleepy. I need someone that's going to wake us up. And I think the flash is a good thing. I mean, you don't get that often in Cleveland, that sort of flashiness in a player, something that energizes the crowd, energizes the stadium, energizes the players around the quarterback. And I think that the flash is not a bad thing for number 12. It's something that will provide some hype to this team. And Gabriel hasn't really done much to speak of so far this season. I mean, solid is maybe a word that is subjective, but, I just don't think he's done much to speak of. 67% of the time, he's throwing passes 9 yards or less. It really is dink and dunk. It really is short yardage football. And he's 1 of 4 on passes over 20 yards in 3 starts. So I haven't seen enough to energize me about Dillon Gabriel. And, I assure you it won't be as bad as Johnny Manziel. That was just a nutcase. He was just doing ridiculous things off the field. Shedeur is practicing on his off days. He wants to be great. He's working hard. It'll be better. Don't you worry. Moving on. Jordan, we beat the Patriots. They played nobody. The Patriots lost to the Raiders, by the way, early in the season. Arguably the worst team in the league. So if the Browns do beat the Patriots, because now they're clicking, now they're hot, this would be a massive win for Cleveland. Oh, I want it so bad, folks. Imagine the talk if the Browns get this win on Sunday. We're only 2 games back of first place in the AFC North. This would turn the tables around, folks. Let's go out there and beat New England. I'm ready for it, Jordan. I love the way you're thinking. Next up, we've got Kim Granger, 69. What moves, if any, do you expect the Browns to make before the trade deadline? Here's a great question. We were talking about this on a video recently, but the Browns seem to be in a position of selling right now. They also buy, as they were able to go out and get Tyson Campbell. They were able to acquire Cam Robinson. But I think the most likely trades you will see for the Cleveland Browns, if any, are, 1, Jerome Ford would get moved. A lot of our offensive linemen on expiring contracts have been in trade talks. David Njoku has been in trade talks on a contract year. I think you're most likely to see the Browns sell a player or two of a player that will be a free agent next year. And what I would love to buy rather than sell, because there's a lot Cleveland needs on offense right now that with the defense playing the way it is, you can't tell me that this team wouldn't contend if we had a quarterback, receivers, an offensive line. Absolutely. So I would love to buy a receiver. There's a lot in trade talks right now. We're going to talk about some more. But I think most likely you'll see some selling, Kim. Speaking of wide receivers, Soul Train says, how significant would adding Garrett Wilson to the wide receiver room be? Oh, man. You get me fired up, Soul Train. Another Ohio State product in Cleveland. It's been working well for us. You see the way Quinshon Judkins runs that football. Garrett Wilson is a super talent. I love his just ability, and he is frustrated in New York right now. A lot of times, having a bad quarterback or being in a bad situation can make a receiver look worse. But as a pure talent, Garrett Wilson is one of the league's best. And, man, I would love to add him to that Cleveland Browns wide receiver room that needs help. Bond had emerged as the wide receiver, too. His snaps went down on Sunday. Jerry Jeudy was our number 1 last year. It was top 6 in the league in receiving yards. He just hasn't looked like the same player. He's dropping balls. They're not getting separation. I think Garrett Wilson makes a bigger impact than you might think. And just having a star like that will help either quarterback look better It's a team effort. And maybe Garrett Wilson wouldn't be happy right now playing for the Cleveland Browns if he's not happy for the Jets. But the Jets are a different kind of suck. I mean, they are just winless. And at least Cleveland has a great defense. And I tell you what, I bet a lot of these star receivers would love to play with Shedeur. You see the way Myles Garrett gets hyped up hanging out with Shedeur Sanders. Like, he just has that hype factor. So, Wilson would be such a big addition to that Browns wide receiver room, folks. I would love to see him in Cleveland. Next up, we got Rigbone. I'm guessing after this week against the Patriots, since the bye week is the trade deadline, just a few days before, I'm going to say goodbye to Ford after the Patriots game. I think it's a good prediction, Rigbone. In fact, the Patriots are a team that need a running back, funny enough. So how funny would it be if we traded Ford to the Patriots after playing them? I wouldn't do it before because then it becomes a revenge game. But that's actually a real possibility. There are a couple teams in the market for a running back right now, and Ford we could sell for cheap, get a late pick, 6th, the 7th, maybe even a late pick swap. And that's a real possibility with the way that Judkins has been running the football, the way we could use Sampson. I mean, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler told us that the chances of Ford getting traded are 35% right now. And some possible fits include the Patriots, but also the Chargers, who lost Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris to injury. The Texans need a running back as well. It's not clear whether Joe Mixon will return anytime soon. And ESPN also said that Ford fits best as a rotational back, right? So maybe not the bona fide starting RB1, but he has enough. He's done enough in the league, has had enough production to rotate into a running back by committee. And Washington could be another team you look at for Jerome Ford. So I think that's one of the most likely moves the Browns make. That's a good take by Rigbone708. Next up, we got Joe Mama 6'7". I'm still not putting my faith in Kevin Stefanski. He's ruining every quarterback we have. Wow, let's unpack this take because Browns fans are pissed off at Kevin Stefanski right now. We had people calling for his job last week. I think the big win against Miami eased everybody's nerves where we're not screaming fire Stefanski, but we're also not letting him off the hook. And the play calling we've seen the few weeks prior are no excuse. It really begs this question, are the quarterbacks not talented or is the system not working? I mean, look at the quarterbacks under Kevin Stefanski. There's 10 on here. I left out Nick Mullins, who made one start. Nobody cared about Nick Mullins. Baker Mayfield was the best one. But we've had Case Keenum, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, of course, DTR, PJY. This is only since 2020, folks. This is all quarterbacks under Kevin Stefanski. Try not to get too much PTSD looking at this here. But it really begs the question, right? Like, was Deshaun Watson a problem? Or people are starting to ask, did Stefanski's game plan just make him look even worse? I mean, you saw all the guys on that list. Not many have had success. And so it starts to wonder, is this a coaching issue when you put in that many different players and there's no production? On the contrary, though, Baker did have success in 2020 when Stefanski got there. Flacco had some success in 2023. But also that 2023 year, we had 4 different starting quarterbacks rotate in, and we were still winning football games. That's how good the defense was and the players around the quarterback were, that it didn't matter who you put in that quarterback. So, yeah, the game plan doesn't seem to benefit quarterbacks. It doesn't seem to let them emerge. And now you're seeing it with Dillon Gabriel. Game plan is super conservative. His yards per attempt are just over 5. What do you think, Browns fans? Do we have a bad system? Is Kevin Stefanski harming quarterback development in Cleveland? Give me a yes or no in that comment section. What do you say, Browns fans? I think there's a legitimate point that could be made here. I'm not going to go out and rip him just yet, but if I see it again, I will. We'll be calling for Stefanski. But for now, we'll enjoy our big win. And before we get into some more Cleveland Browns news and rumors, I'm super excited to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Football is in full swing now on Sundays. All is right with the world, and I'm big into daily fantasy with Prize Picks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining. And before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app. And can copy their lineups in one click, whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. That includes my lineups that I make. We had a great start to the season, but I need to make some more money now. PrizePicks gave us an awesome deal. Stephen Curry, more than half a point. That worked out great. I got Quinshon Judkins less than 72.5 rush yards since the Patriots' rush defense has been so good. But I'll be happy either way. And finally, Bijan Robinson, more than half a touchdown. He's going to do that against Miami. If you want to try and make some money, you can tail my lineup. But to do that, you need to download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It is good to be right. Coming up, it's the Scoop and Boogie with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Do they evaluate Sanders this season? And if they do, what scenario calls for us taking a quarterback in round one? Feel like we're spinning our wheels with DG. Great question here from Poop, Scoop, and Boogie. This is things that Browns fans really want to know. First part of it, yes, I think we evaluate Shedeur Sanders this season. I think it'd be a major mistake if you didn't. If you let him sit on the bench and then draft a quarterback, you got 3 young quarterbacks, and we haven't even seen the second one. Be kind of wild. I think the scenario that calls for Cleveland taking another quarterback, because the mock drafts are saying it. They're saying Cleveland's going to take Dante Moore. They're saying Cleveland's going to take Mendoza. I say pump the brakes on that, mock drafts. We haven't seen Shedeur play, and we've seen Gabriel play 3 games. You just drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks. We have other positional needs, mind you. We desperately need offensive tackles, and our offensive guards are on contract years. We've got other things to figure out. Wide receivers as well. Please give us Carnell Tate. But that's my point, Browns fans. I'm not in on drafting the quarterback just yet. I think the scenario that calls for it is if both Gabriel and Shedeur go out there and stink it up. If they go out there, turn the ball over, or continuously do what Gabriel's doing right now, which is not advance the football, not move the ball downfield, and rely on our defense to win us football games and run game, well, then I say you draft a quarterback. But I'm not saying it yet until we see Shedeur, which I think we will in a few weeks, folks. At least I hope we can see him get out there and have some success. I want him to be in a good situation when he gets out there, too. Next up, we got Patrick Edits. Wants to know, will the Browns trade Ward for A.J. Brown? Big trade rumor here. We have talked about this on the show, and there's a few things to look at. Number one, A.J. Brown is disgruntled. He posted on his Instagram yesterday saying, it was a picture of him with the caption, using me but not using me. He's pissed off. He's not getting targets. And unfortunately, he's a big name, but I think the receivers in Philly are so good that they could afford to make this big move. We also heard recently that teams are calling up the Eagles about A.J. Brown, and they're being told we're not moving him at this moment. Now, a position of need for the Philadelphia Eagles is cornerback too. Denzel Ward, one of the best corners in football. I think he's one of the most enticing players for Philly, that if this deal were to happen, it would have to be with a team like Cleveland that has a top corner like Denzel Ward. I'm not saying I want this to happen. I love Denzel Ward. I love what he's done for the Cleveland Browns. And like I said, A.J. Brown, he's kind of a diva. But we also desperately need a wide receiver. And A.J. Brown is a difference maker. But to be honest with you, I'm not jumping on this. I'm not saying absolutely we should do this deal. Because then we're desperately going to need corner help. And we need someone that can get A.J. Brown the football. We need an offensive line that can protect long enough to let A.J. Brown get open. And so I don't know if this actually be a good move for either team in the long run. For Philly, though, I mean, if you add Ward to that defense, they might go back-to-back, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that if Philadelphia was going to move A.J. Brown, this is the type of deal that it would take. So stay tuned. We'll have it covered here on the Browns Report if and or when it does. Next up, we have Mr. Melt 420. There's some great numbers in the show today. I want to see Gabriel throw the darn ball more than 20 to 30 yards. at least 3 to 4 times. I'm tired of the run and check downs game. It's so unproductive. Air it out. Make them respect the run. Hashtag Browns. Thank you. I'm glad a Browns fan is coming out here and saying that they're pissed off about the offense we're watching, because it's true. That's how I'm feeling watching it. It's not fun. It's not exciting to watch the passing game at all right now. We're carried by the run game, and teams are stacking the box. They know that. Judkins faces 8 defenders or more in the box, more than any other player in the league, and he's still efficient. I mean, credit to Quinshon Judkins. We got a star. But that's not a recipe for a successful offense. This is going to be a game like the Steelers game where you're forced to throw the ball 50 times and you barely got over 200 yards on 52 pass attempts. Unfortunately, I'm sick of watching that as well. So, yes, I'm with you, Mr. Mel. You know what? Take some shots, Gabriel. Shut down the criticism. Show us. Beat the narrative. And the only reason I think we're not seeing it is because they don't think he's capable of it. Stefanski's not game planning it, and Gabriel just simply isn't connecting on the shots. Show us that you can do it, Gabriel, because that's what we need right now. A pass game that's going to work. Otherwise, we're screwed. So I like that you're fired up about it, because I want a quarterback that can do that as well. That just doesn't seem to be Gabriel's nature. We'll see if we can win games with the game-managing type of quarterback, but I'm pretty ready to move on in a week or two. Next up, we got Braden coming in saying, you guys party on Sunday. You're darn right we party, Braden Klosterman. We have a great time on the Browns Report. We go live every single week for every single Cleveland Browns game, and we host a watch party. So that means all Browns fans can come in, party it up, have some fun, send some super chats. I'll do some deals. I give away items on the stream. I mean, it's really a great time. Live play-by-play of the game as well. So if you're a Browns fan and you want to be a part of the party this Sunday when we take on New England, join our live stream. We will be live Sunday starting at noon Eastern. You don't want to miss it. And tell me right now who you got in this game. Type CLE if you got the Cleveland Browns beating the New England Patriots. Type NE if you think the Patriots get this dub. Put those letters in the comment section, folks. I want to see some clees for the Cleveland Browns. Hey, they pull this off. Ladies and gentlemen, the talk around Cleveland is going to be different. I think they can do it, but I want to see it. Folks, thank you so much for watching this edition of the Browns Report. If you have more questions for me, go on over to X at JoeyO70. Comment some questions. I'll answer them for you on there and interact with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this edition of the Browns Report. We appreciate you all tuning in. Subscribe if you want to be a part of future videos here on YouTube. We thank you so much. We appreciate all of you, and we'll see you next time. Boom. Good stuff, Reed. Let's give it up for Reed. Great producer, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
No problem, man.
Let's give it up for Joey.
Oh, thank you, man.
Terrible. No, I'm just kidding. Great host. Great host.
Fun times on the show today. Coach CJ, yeah, exactly. He said, A.J. Brown, but you need a quarterback, lol. Yo, Ty Man's in the building now. Ty Man, where you been, bro? Yo. James Harper's got Cleveland 20-17. I'm with it. I think that's the way they'd have to win. It's close and low scoring. Can we shut down Drake May? To be fair, the Browns' defense is a test for Drake May. It'll be one of the bigger tests that he's gotten this season. Maybe the biggest. Probably it's the best defense he's played.
He's going to be scared of Myles Garrett, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Garrett is a scary player to go up against. Edwin Taylor makes a good point, too. Sanders had one bad preseason game, and they're scared to play him. Bad play call. Yeah, I don't get why people keep bringing up the Rams game as, like, see, he sucked. Like, no. He had fourth-string offensive linemen that couldn't make the Browns' offensive line, which has some of the worst tackles in the NFL. So that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see him soon. I hope he gets a good situation, though. I hope these things about Stefanski hating Shedeur are not true also, because I want him to be put in a good situation. I really think he's got talent. And they're saying that he's looking great in camp right now. They're saying he's looking great in practice. I showed you the Mary Kay quote. They say Shedeur's progressing very well. We'll see. We'll be here for you, ladies and gentlemen, when it happens. Folks, this has been a lot of fun. Good time. What it is about 6:12 p.m. in Cleveland. You guys hanging out with us here in the evening. Go get some dinner. I'm pretty hungry myself too, right? We thank you so much for hanging out with us here on the Browns Report live. Like I said, I'm going to post a video right now. Post videos tomorrow, the next day. The next day, I post daily Cleveland Browns content. So hit that subscribe button. Be the first to comment on those videos. Turn your notifications on so you can be the first. You get the notification. You go there. You comment. I'll be like, boom, that person's a real one. They're from the live. So thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us here on this Wednesday afternoon. We'll do it again next week. And like I said, we'll do it this Sunday for a watch party to beat those Patriots. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you soon here on the Browns Report.